Rob's in Edinburgh, an unusual share club. They say they're not bothered if they don't make any money. Can this be true, Rob?
No, it's not something you come across very often, is it, Adrian? But these are all students, so it's not exactly an academic exercise, though, because they are dealing in real money. This is money that they've managed to get through sponsorship. They've got around £2,000 in their portfolio. Basically, it's the Edinburgh University Trading and Investment Club. Now, they use all the resources here at the university to plan the stock market, to do research, and to plan their strategies in the future. And what they do is they meet on a regular basis. They've got around 400 members. Of course, the stock market crash in the summer is a bit of a problem for them because they're all off on holiday. But when they get back together, they meet regularly, they all have reports, they look at various sectors. So what we're going to do now is we're going to find out a little bit more about what they're planning to do in the future. With me now is Phill Gillespie from the organisation. Phil, what's the aim of what you're trying to do here?
Well, we set up the club about 3 years ago. It's really a learning tool for all the students. We give them valuable experience in the stock market and looking at the financial side of things. It's something that they wouldn't otherwise get to do. We got our sponsorship, as you mentioned, through people like Merrill Lynch and things like that, giving us money, so we don't actually putting any money in or taking any money out. If we lose the money, it's a shame, but we're safe. That makes us different from every other stock market club that's going about.
You're very different for students as well. You're quite smart. What's all this about?
We have a meeting later with Deutsche Bank. We've got a presentation going on.
Oh, that's all right, because I dressed down for students, you know, and suddenly I stand out here. But I think Adam's been taking a close look at your portfolio. He's had a long, hard look at it. He's got some interesting questions. What do you think, Adam?
OK, well, the Edinburgh University's Trading and Investment Club portfolio, it now includes Cambridge Antibodies, Boots, a company called ZAR, and that's a company which has made a laser printer, which I think is meant to do all sorts of new things, and Infobank. And now they made a profit in the first 2 of those shares and a loss in the last 2. Now, in particular, I'm interested, I think, in Infobank. It's a share which has attracted a lot of speculative interest, I know, amongst many working lunch viewers. This is their performance. Let's bring that on. It had a huge bubble, this huge bubble here. The shares rose from about £5 to £40, and then it collapsed. I mean, not all the way down, but down to around £8. So it's right up and down. It does show you just how speculative the high technology sector can be. Now, Infobank, it's a software company. It doesn't make a profit like so many of these high-tech companies, so an investment in this share is one really based on hopes that things are going to get a lot better than they are now. Well, earlier I spoke to Morven White from the stockbrokers Redmayne Bentley, and I asked her whether she thought this share could pick itself up from its recent lows and regain any of that former glory.
I think I'm confident about the share. I think it's in a fantastic market. Bear in mind, though, it's not for those risk-averse investors. It's for the day traders. It's for those people wanting excitement and can hold on to the shares for some time. It's potentially got a great marketplace worth about $2 trillion US, business to business, e-commerce. It's the thing of the future. Very young market, lots of potential, an interesting stock.
All right, well, very speculative, but what do you make of the rest of their portfolio?
Well, with the exception of Boots, then the other 2 are much the same as Infobank. You've got ZAR, which is in the printing industry, unusually making some money, but again, a very high-risk, high-tech kind of stock. And then the Cambridge Antibodies, another Cambridge-based company, which is involved in genetics and drug development. Not for widows and orphans, whilst Boots, I don't know why they bought that, but again, it's one of the old economy stalwart stocks, which they could be sitting on for some time before they see anything happen on the way up.
So quite a risky portfolio. I think what really interests me is what made those shares stand out to them and why they think they're going to go up in price. And given what she says, will you hold them for some long-term gains, or are you really in it for a quick bucks?
Well, Bobby, you were nodding your head through some of that. What's your reply to what Adam has just said?
I mean, basically, when we started the investment club, we made a combination between long-term stocks and short-term buys. We've had other blue-chip companies like Barclays, which we sold for a profit. Boots was one which we thought was expanding quickly, and we thought that would be a long-term hold, and that's why we've held it for over 5 months now. Infobank, as Adam said, did boom and then bust quite quickly. But unfortunately, it's one of those things about being a student society. We're not here to deal with it over the holidays.
I was going to say, and given the fact that you're not in it to make a profit necessarily, what's your kind of motivation, what's your rationale when you go for an investment?
I mean, the money's been given to us kindly by other banks, so basically we have the opportunity to invest without the downfalls of losing the money. So it's more to do kind of quality research, get people together in teams or independently, stocks they've followed personally over before they came to university, and then they can come and make a proposal at the Thursday meetings, and if the club likes it, we vote on it and we buy it.
Okay, well, we've got a few more members of the club with us. Anya, you're in charge of the corporate side. What's all that about then?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time looking at company relations. We contact our company relations in the investment banks. It's really important because they sponsor us. We spend a lot of time getting research from them. They come up and give us talks, so as to tell our members about the investment banking world. And every term we produce a report telling our investment bank sponsors about what we've been doing, our recent research, and what trading games we're doing, for example, and how it's going.
So people put a lot of work into it, don't they?
Yeah, it takes quite a lot of time, but you can vary how much work you put into it.
So Lizzie, just tell me, is this open to all the students? You know, can anybody join this?
Oh, absolutely, definitely. Before I joined, I had no background whatsoever in finance and very little interest, but just through turning up to the regular meetings and gambling with lots of big money, I found it to be really, really good fun. And yeah, everybody can join. It's great.
Apart from fun, have you learnt much from it?
Definitely. I mean, my knowledge over the year has, quadrupled. I'm actually thinking about a career now within the industry because it's just so interesting. So yeah, I've learnt a lot.
How about you, Bobby? Are you looking to go into this kind of line of business?
Yes, I spent the summer for 3 months working for JP Morgan. Hopefully want to go and do it after I leave university. But it's not solely for people who want to go into the industry. We're trying to educate students. Some people find it scary, but they think they will work in finance, whether it be property investment or stocks and shares investment. So we just try and educate people and show that those terms aren't as scary as they first seem.
I feel you're still going to, actually, by the looks of it, because you're also well organised, make a profit. What do you do with the money you get?
The money's just going to be ploughed back in. We can take a little bit out for administration, but we carefully worded it in our constitution to make sure no one can take any money, no one can benefit. If it all goes pear-shaped and no one actually is involved, we donate it all to a local charity, so everyone wins really.
Is it something that's growing, or are you getting more members?
Yeah, I mean, I remember a couple of years ago we had about 15 people sitting in a small room in a pub because we didn't even have a room of our own. Now we've got over 400. It's just huge. Really, really great growth.
And what about other universities? Is there anyone else doing this?
We've actually, one of the people who founded it, Yazana, started it in the LSE. There are other universities who've contacted us and said they want to do similar things to this. So we're really branching out all across Britain and starting up trade and investment clubs.
So Bobby, what would your advice be to anyone else thinking about setting something like this up? It sounds like a lot of hard work to me.
Well, I mean, if you get a small group of people together who've got a common interest, it's not as much work as it may at first seem. I mean, as Phil said, it started with 15 people with a common interest, and just through doing a little bit of work and gradually growing to 400 people, which does take a bit more work.
Now, Anya, you're putting a lot of work in as well. Do you think it's worth it?
Absolutely, you get a really good insight into what happens in investment banking. And as Phil said, a lot of fun goes into it as well because we organise a trading game between the universities that also have investment clubs, and we do this in connection with an investment bank. So the prize will be to go down to an investment bank for the day and have lunch and have a look around there. So it's a big deal of fun in it as well.
OK, well, thanks very much, and good luck with your studies as well. It's back to the studio.
What a frighteningly well-dressed bunch.